Guys, so this week I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and I only just finished it about 5 minutes ago, and at the moment I'm not quite sure what to think of it, because I mean, I've been recommended this book for years now because my mum's read it and my best friend's read it, and they both said it's really, really good and it's like really enchanting and all the rest of it. And I looked up all the reviews on Goodreads and I saw that people were saying that it's got the most gorgeous description in it and all the rest of it. So I decided, sod it, I'll give it a go. Especially considering this book was written during NaNoWriMo one year and it's still NaNoWriMo at the moment. And I'm not exactly sure though what to think of this, because I agree, the descriptions in this book are gorgeous. The entire book is filled with the most beautiful descriptions of everybody's outfits, what they all look like, what the Night Circus looks like, and all of that. It's all just gorgeous description the entire way through, which is so enchanting and thrilling, and I love it. But the storyline I'm not quite sure about, because the storyline follows Celia and Marco, who have been brought up by magicians and have been bound to a challenge that they know nothing about. All they know is that they've got to fight each other. Well, not fight each other, they've got to go against each other and use their magic until one of them wins, and that's all they know. And it sort of follows them as they try and out-magic each other through the Night Circus and all the surrounding characters in that. And while the idea is really cool, I'm not quite sure about how it was executed, because when I think of a challenge where you've got to try and outdo someone with magic who also has magic, I'm expecting a magic fight, you know, where they're properly throwing magic at each other and stuff. But that's not what happens in this. Instead, it's a lot more like a game of chess than it is a game of, I don't know, war. It's not like fencing, it's more like chess. And it's more like they're going around creating different things, and it's more like whoever tires out first loses. And I don't know what to make of that, because it felt like a lot of the time nothing was happening. Because it was sort of like, it was more like the challenge was mentioned, but it wasn't really in the foreground of it. It was more about what the characters were feeling and what they were doing while not doing that. Or it was focusing on another character who isn't a part of the challenge, but is somehow tied into the circus anyway. And I'm not exactly sure how to quite process that, because I don't even know if I was bored reading it, because I really loved the descriptions and all the descriptions of like the tents and what was inside them and how all of that worked and how all of the performers were in it and what they were doing and what they were wearing, and like the big cauldron with all the fire and everything was so beautifully written. It's seriously some of the most beautiful description I've ever read in my life. It was practically poetry without the actual poem bit. It was that I really loved, and it was so interesting that I wanted to carry on reading, but it still felt like not much was happening. It was like there were things going on, but it wasn't immediately gripping and sort of like, oh, I have to read on so I know exactly how they're going to get out of this one or anything like that. It was more like, I feel like the description was a lot more interesting than the actual storyline. I'm afraid. I'm not exactly sure what to think of the storyline, because it's an interesting idea and how it was all fixed in the end was really interesting and stuff, but I feel like there could have been a lot, not exactly more action, because I feel like action wouldn't have fit with this level of description, but I feel like there could have been a lot more, possibly a lot more talk of what was actually, like what Celia and Marco were doing to the circus, and more of how it's affecting them, more than just having those sort of things sort of mentioned in conversation. So I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. It was like so much was going on, but it was sort of mentioned in passing in conversation, not what the characters were actually feeling, which is slightly odd, because I'm used to sort of seeing books where what the characters are doing is the forefront of it, and what they're feeling is sort of secondary. But this was the other way around, which was slightly confusing, and I'm not exactly sure how to sort of feel about that. But it was a very interesting idea. I have to admit, it was a very interesting idea, and how everything sort of all weaved in together was brilliant, because there were so many characters, and sort of like the point of view changed practically every single chapter, and you had quite a few different, so you sort of went from Celia to Marco to Isabel to Bailey to the twins to the man in grey to like second person, and it's sort of you visiting the Night Circus. It was all over the place sort of thing, but it all worked like that. Actually, it worked really well, and it wasn't confusing or anything like that, and it just sort of worked doing it that way. It was just slightly odd, and I'm not exactly sure what to make of it. And if that was what Erin Morgenstern was going for, she's totally managed it, because I'm still sitting here trying to process what I've just read and trying to figure out whether I actually enjoyed the entire story, if I just like the description, or what I'm thinking about this, because I don't know what I'm thinking. I really don't know. And it's like, I enjoyed it, but I'm not even sure how to describe it. As a writer, that's not good, but I'm not exactly sure how to describe this book apart from beautiful description, unsure about the story, basically. And apart from that, I've got nothing really to say on this book. So if you have any opinions on this book that you may think may be useful to me, or you just want to talk about it, please tell me down in the comments. That'd be awesome. I can't reply to them because YouTube is being a bit of a bugger at the moment. It isn't letting me reply to any YouTube comments that anybody posts on my channel, which is really annoying. And I don't know if this goes towards any other channel or anything else I try and comment on, but it's just not letting me comment back at the moment, which is really annoying. But you can always tweet me, which is @WritableDreams, if you've got anything you want to say there, or anything like that. That'd be awesome. And but if you agree with me, please do give me a thumbs up, and if you enjoyed this video, also give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, please click subscribe here. That'd be awesome. And until next time, guys, I think that's gonna be it, because I'm not sure what else to say really. So until next time, bye.